On to the daily DVAR halacha, and here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Sunday the 21st day of September. Here we go. Just want to remind you again that Slichos has begun. For Ashkenaz people, it started either on Saturday night or on Sunday morning. For Sfard people, it has already begun way back at the beginning of Elul. Make sure that you get to Shul so that you can say Salichos along with the Shul if possible. And prepare for the big one on Erev Rosh Hashanah. That's the longest one of the year, and it takes a long time, so put that into your schedule. Erev Rosh Hashanah Salichos. That's coming up on Wednesday morning. Okay, now some more laws for you. Vidui on Erev Yom Kippur. Now, vidui is the al-chet. That's the thing where you say all the sins that you've done in a listing that the rabbis have put together in our Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur prayer books. And they, of course, are said with striking of the chest as a symbol of, we have wrong in our hearts. And that vidui is not only said on Yom Kippur itself, but it's actually said at the mincha, which precedes Yom Kippur. One of the reasons is because we say that mincha and the vidui of that mincha before the meal of right before Yom Kippur, and we feel that just like, God forbid, on the weird, horrible circumstance that we choke and don't make it through that meal. Seriously, I'm not making this up. It sounds kind of strange, but we want to make sure that we're already entering into that whole setup with a full confession already done, so that we're kind of clean, if you know what I mean, a clean slate, and we've asked for full forgiveness even before we eat the meal that precedes Yom Kippur. If there is a certain sin that you know you did not do this year, but you had done it in a previous year or previous years, then the halacha is that it's still a good thing to ask for forgiveness for that one too, and not to have an attitude of, I already talked about that one, I don't have to discuss that one. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's a good thing to always ask forgiveness from the Creator of the universe who sustains you, and say, for that wrong, I also want to ask for forgiveness, even though I already did last year. Needless to say, it's common sense, but it's also a halacha that at the Suda HaMafsekas, at that meal that is right before Yom Kippur, it is appropriate and proper to eat only foods that are easily digested. Any foods that are very spicy or cause you any kinds of ailments, you wouldn't want to be involved with that on the day of Yom Kippur. So make sure to plan out accordingly that it's foods that digest well for you. Also, of course, is not a halacha, but think through, it should be foods that will help sustain you. Not foods that are just sugary and useless and won't really do a whole lot for you. Think it out carefully so that you nourish yourself very, very well before the day of Yom Kippur. And since you are hearing these laws long before Yom Kippur from me, remember, all of you coffee drinkers, to start working about what you're going to do to wean yourself off of your coffee a little bit so that you don't get horrible headaches. But I don't have to tell you that. If you're a coffee headache person, you already know to deal with this. And be careful to make a plan so that you have a good, meaningful Yom Kippur davening, not bothered by your coffee withdrawal headaches. When, Yom Kippur, officially all the things that we don't do on Yom Kippur begin at sundown, but it is a good thing to begin the fasting and the not wearing of leather shoes, etc., a few minutes before sundown, and that's called Tosfos Inui, adding on to the affliction of Yom Kippur. I'm not talking about starting an hour early, but a few moments early, so that you add on to the mitzvah of the day, which are the 5 things that we don't do on Yom Kippur, which we'll discuss in a further halacha. But start the Inui and start those afflictions before the last second before sundown. And lastly, as we said to you back on Tisha B'Av, and it applies now too, when you eat that final meal before Yom Kippur, if you're going to bench from that meal and there's still going to be a while left to eat after that benching, then stipulate before you bench that I'm benching now, but I'm not starting the fast yet. I'm still going to want to go brush my teeth, take a drink of this, or pop that medicine that I got to take right before Yom Kippur. Make sure to take care of those things before, and make sure to stipulate that you're going to be doing those eatings right after you're benching. If you plan to not eat after benching, that's fine. But if you do plan to eat, it's best to stipulate. If you forget to stipulate, you still are allowed to eat after that benching. It's just better and more clear and more halachically unproblematic if you're just clear about what you're doing. I'm benching, but there's 22 minutes till the fast, so I'm going to go brush my teeth, take a drink of power drink or whatever it is that you think works for you, and by all means, but just plan on that so that you didn't look like you accepted the fast and then started to eat. Thanks for logging on, and log on again tomorrow for more.